Hello ladies and gentlemen and those in between, welcome back to my channel. Everett here, and today we are going to talk about My Data series. First of all, I would like to talk about how I personally felt about this series right before its first episode was released on YouTube. And when I first saw the trailer, what sprung to my mind was that it was some sort of a fairy tale-like BL series, and as far as I can remember, it felt like the Disney World met the BL universe. Aww. So in this trailer, there's this rich prince-like guy whose name is Ace, reared in a home of abundance, who falls in love with someone ordinary whose name is Guy. And my initial reaction was, wow. The cinematography is perfect, and the way the trailer was presented was intriguing. And I mean, I've never seen any BL series with this concept, so of course I was super duper ultra mega excited about it, and I honestly couldn't wait long enough to watch it. My Day is a romantic comedy BL series about a determined culinary intern named Sky who makes his way into a multi-billion-dollar food company called Aces of Cakes. And in my opinion, there's nothing really special about the story, well, apart from that magical moment where Sky and Ace are kissing with fireworks set up in the night sky, and another moment where Sky and Ace are dancing romantically at the cotillion. I could feel this Disney fairy tale vibe in those scenes, and this series is like a typical television series where one of the main characters who belongs to a middle-class family tries hard to survive the challenges and win the heart of his wicked boss. And the storyline is pretty usual, where one of the main lead characters dates a girl and then eventually realizes that he is attracted to another guy, so he gets pretty confused about his sexuality, which is pretty common specifically in Thai BL series. So if you haven't seen this series yet, expect to see the usual cat and dog like fight between the two main characters. And as much as I love this series, I just can't deny the fact that this series is not for everybody. And by that I mean, there are those who hate the series, there are those who like the series, there are those who are dissatisfied with the series but manage to continue watching the series until the end. And of course, there are those who are head over heels in love with the series, and I'm so proud to say that I'm one of those truly, madly, deeply in love with the series, simply because the chemistry between Ace and Sky is above standards. Their chemistry is undeniably magical. That's right! Well, I have read some of not so positive comments about this series along the lines of, the storyline is messy, the acting is poor, it's a mess, etc., etc., etc. Well, I respect people are not really satisfied with these aspects of the entire series, but the reason why I was able to overlook those things is that I've been a BL fan since 2015, so I've already seen a whole bunch of series whose storyline is all over the place. In fact, there are a few BL series which to other people were really good, but I didn't manage to finish watching until the end because, to my mind, how the story went was dragging out and it just didn't match up with the way we wanted it to be. But one of the things I've learned about BL series or anything that's related to it over the years is that just because one series doesn't meet our expectations doesn't mean it's not a good BL series at all. Maybe its story is not yours, maybe its story is not mine, but mind you guys, there must be some other people who can relate to its story in that they can probably see themselves in one of the characters in the series. Who knows, it could be our neighbor who sees herself in Moira because she's having a hard time letting go of her ex-boyfriend. Or it could be your colleague who sees herself in Ken because she can't handle unrequited love that well. You know what I mean? And with that being said, we can't affix blame for people who are in love with this series or that series. But like I said, I don't know about you guys, but in my case, I am so in love with the series. I love the series to the moon and back. And what else can we do? When it comes down to cinematography, I liken My Day series to Filipino drama series aired on national TV. Surprisingly, all of these expensive-looking set designs such as hospital, restaurant, school, and so forth were all in the same location because the whole cast couldn't freely shoot because of the coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, by the numerous product placements and the long list of people in the post-credits, I can tell that this series was well-funded. GMM TV is nothing compared to Oxen Films in terms of subtle advertisements. Like, in fact, GMM TV can learn from Oxen Films, but but kidding aside, sponsors of course are of absolute must in regard to making a good quality film, which I must say is completely acceptable. I also love how supportive Sky's family is. In a way I see it, his family is a typical one that you can see on Philippine primetime TV where family members stick to their course in good times and in bad times. And it feels like watching a family-oriented drama series both in two giant TV networks in the Philippines, ABS-CBN and GMA. And I am the type of personality who stands liberal and supportive parents because I was raised by a traditional and conservative family, so I've always wanted to have an open-minded father like that of Sky's. And geez, even down to the villain, OMG, I really hate Moira, like, I'm not even talking about that singer can make you fall asleep when you listen to her songs. Just kidding. I mean, I mean the actress that plays Moira, whose face doesn't really go well with her personality. Seriously, kudos to her and her phenomenal portrayal of an irritating villain. One of the most heart-moving scenes in this series, which probably we members of the LGBTQ community can relate to, is that moment when Ace comes out to his father admitting he really loves Sky. Gays who are still in the closet, by and large, might pretend and say, "Hey Dad, I think I like that." Or, "Hey dude, look at that hot chick." No, I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, there are also plenty of reasons why people decide not to come out. Let me give you a few examples. First, they're confused about who they really are or how they feel. Second, they feel that there's no point in talking about topics like sexual orientation or gender as they're supposed to be kept privately. Thirdly, they assume that once they come out, they will be bullied, harassed, discriminated, or even treated violently. And finally, they're worried about how their family members react, and they worry about what might happen if their parents or siblings find their hidden secret out. In this series, I honestly couldn't help crying at that scene where Ace explodes under pressure confessing that he is gay, because in real life situations, coming out to our parents is not easy to do. And I admire Ace's bravery to declare how much he loves Sky, and I must say that moment where he decides to break up with Sky is heartbreaking. Well, I get his drift because sometimes we unthinkingly give up our happiness if that can cause everyone else around us to have peace of mind. And I can totally relate to this because at a certain point in my life, I also set aside my own happiness and feelings for the benefit of other people. Well, I guess all that matters is our intention, and our good intentions will always protect us, even though sometimes our ways are not agreeable. Let's talk about the original soundtrack of this series. I really love the OST of this series. It's catchy, and anyone who listens to this can get the last song syndrome. Once you start to listen to it, it will surely keep playing in your head. 1 minute you're doing a house chore, the next minute you're humming to the song, tapping your foot to it, humming it to yourself, and listening to it all day long. Say hello to Basta't, Sabihin mo lang. Basically, this song is about a guy asking the one he loves to tell him whatever he should do to make him fall in love with him. He's confessing that he may not be as rich as the other guys who are into the one he loves, and despite having a second-hand car, he's all willing to do anything to win the heart of the one he loves. That is so sweet. So sweet. So sweet! Basta't sabihin mo lang ang nararapat gawin upang ikaw ay mapaibig ko. Lahat ay kakayanin, hindi ako magrereklamo. Basta't sabihin ng gusto. Basta't sabihin mo lang na may pag-asa ako para naman ako'y makontento. Nang di laging kabado sa ibang may gusto. Sadyang hindi ako patatalo. Finally, I would love to talk about Ace and Sky and their amazing chemistry. Aww. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate Filipino BL series and the enthusiasm and passion which these filmmakers, directors, script writers, staff behind the camera have for their craft. As a matter of fact, I patiently wait for these Filipino BL series week after week. I love Game Boys, Sacristan, Hello Stranger, In Between, Gaya and Pelikula, My Extraordinary, Banning Gem, Amore, Quarantine, Oh Mendo, Boys Lockdown, Lakan, Pogi Lang Hanap, Better Days, and Swap Test. And all of these series have their own strengths, and all of these series are so beautiful that they can make you proud of being a Filipino. And I won't be surprised if you have your most favorite Filipino BL series, like your #1 Filipino BL series from one of those series I've mentioned, because clearly they're all beautifully filmed. Anyway, you may not agree with me, but personally, I suppose when it comes down to chemistry, the chemistry between Ace and Sky is a notch higher than the rest of these BL couples. In fact, their chemistry, in my opinion, saved the entire series from mean and destructive criticism and negative impressions. I so love how natural Miko Gallardo and Aki Torres are toward one another, and I was like, am I still watching Ace and Sky or Miko and Aki? Because their portrayal of their characters is so convincing, it's so real, and geez, they have learned to overcome their awkwardness, which I believe all actors playing BL characters go through while filming the entire series. They're so comfortable with each other, they're willing to do whatever it takes to make the whole show a great success. They honestly remind me of Fighter and Tutor from Why Are You? The series, and of course, the BL Kings, the legendary Max Sintal, also known as Korn and Knock from Together With Me the series. I just don't know what else to say. I am just at a loss for words. Their chemistry just leaves me speechless. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever my next video comes out. Peace outie! One of the most heart-moving scenes in this series, which probably we members of the LGBTQ community can relate to, is that moment when Ace... One of the